10.
Hello, wrestling fans across the globe. Welcome to another episode of the 10 Count Podcast.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
I am your host, Kyle Crosby, alongside my broadcast colleague, Michael Malley, a.k.a. Maggle. We say goodbye to Mick Foley as the GM. Poor old Mick, Mrs. Foley's baby boy, is now going to the unemployment line.
Not here to forget every town that he performs in. The hardcore legend is gone, so that just leaves the open question: who's going to be the new GM of Raw?
Well, Bailey has taken his gimmick of naming every city they're performing in, so
that's true.
That's good, female Cena.
What?
I'm not sure. Who do you think is going to be the new GM?
I'm going to go with the prediction that I had before. It's going to be the guy who is headlining the Hall of Fame, the one and only Kurt Angle.
And you know, Maggle, I agree with you 100%. I hope it's Kurt Angle. That would be amazing. Oh, the Olympian back in the WWE after so long.
It's true. It's damn true.
Something else that is true, unfortunately, we now have a fatal four-way for the women's title at WrestleMania.
Fucking bullshit!
Not a Nia Jax fan for all the people listening. Just don't like her. Not very charismatic. Doesn't do it for me.
No.
I don't like her style in the ring. Promos are awful.
She's the only one in that whole match that hasn't carried the NXT women's title and the women's title.
She doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
There's no reason for her to be in this match.
It's like throwing Dana Brooke in this match. It makes no sense. But they're trying to turn her into Karma.
I know what they're trying to do with her. They want to build her as like the Braun Strowman of the women's division. But as you can see what they're doing with Braun Strowman, it's not working. Not to change the subject, but this guy has the caliber to be the next Diesel.
This is the worst part of this, the last couple weeks. This has been a bad week in terms of wrestling because you see so many bad things have happened just in terms of people who are being billed and who are headlining WrestleMania. But this is the saddest part is Braun Strowman is going off of this great undefeated streak to lose. That's fine. But now he's just every week he's getting his ass handed to him. It doesn't feel like he can really. I don't understand what they're doing with him, to be perfectly honest, and it's frustrating me, and I think it's frustrating the rest of the WWE universe.
Yeah, I for one am frustrated, especially seeing someone like Roman Reigns.
Shut the hell up!
Who I feel as though doesn't have the type of championship kind of look as a Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Getting, like, not only pushed, skyrocketed to possibly defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania and then beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam for the Universal title.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
It's really bad when we know this far in advance probably what's going to happen in terms of how the WWE works and how Vince thinks.
Yeah.
And this is the sad part is that Roman looks so strong under that, and I didn't believe a single thing about it. And it just pissed me off. I saw Braun get destroyed by Undertaker, and then I saw Roman spear the Undertaker, and that's how they closed it. They just took a giant fart in front of us.
They took a giant shit on the chest of the internet wrestling community. That's what happened.
What?
Well, one good thing to come out of Raw this week was the promo of a one Y2 Jericho.
Come on, baby!
Hear it in, man.
The best part, it's going to be the best part of WrestleMania is this match because Y2J is killing it. This promo he had this week was on fire. He just proves that every time you think Y2J is down and out, he's just back in the game.
We have a memorandum section of this podcast in remembrance of the list of Jericho that was destroyed in front of all the women and children and diehard fans out there.
Sad, sad day.
Sad, sad day. Moving on to SmackDown. The Miz and Maurice had a beautiful and hilarious skit of Total Bellas called Total Bullshit, and it was amazing.
Loved it. I loved how Miz and Maurice's, how they were acting just like Nikki. You see the hair flips and the posture.
Cena's stiffness is...
and all the puns to the rings and all of that. It was great. It was funny, and it worked.
I'm really impressed with Miz's promos lately, especially Cena. I mean, granted, Cena is an easy target, but, you know, it's still funny regardless. It's just outlandish. It's creative, which makes you think that once WrestleMania is done, Maurice will join the Divas division, or you think that she'll just go back into retirement?
I think that she's gonna stick with Miz to the end of this, and I'd like to see her in the. We'll see what happens. After WrestleMania, it's been known to have the huge depletion of superstars, and people brought up, and things get shaken up. So who knows? I'd like to see her, see what she can do in the women's division, just to see. I'd like to see less than Nikki. Same with I kind of like to see a little less than John.
I'd like to see a little less John, Nikki, and Natalya myself.
And this brings us to the next section, which is amazing. I am so happy about this because it's a change in the division, and it's the Usos are now champions.
I said last podcast, I didn't believe American Alpha should have lost until after WrestleMania. Give them a lengthy, solid first title run.
I don't feel too bad. I think the Usos, they are the best talkers in terms of the tag team division on SmackDown. They are the best talkers. Raw has Enzo and Cass and the New Day. SmackDown has the Usos, and
Heath Slater.
And but you're seeing a lot less of them now. You're seeing a lot less of them in Rhino. Yeah.
Although in the segment with AJ Styles, when Heath Slater and Rhino came out of the limousine, a friend of mine had told me that he wanted to see Nakamura and AJ at WrestleMania, and seeing that limousine drive up and AJ stop and didn't look like it was Shane. I bet he got excited thinking that it was Nakamura, but I really want to bring Heath Slater and Rhino back. Speaking of AJ Styles, though, he was the latest to suffer the elbow drop from hell by Shane McMahon. What do you think the outcome of this match is going to be at WrestleMania?
I think it's going to be AJ on top. But
it's got to be AJ on top.
But the interesting thing about that is what's going to happen after that, because Shane has run of SmackDown. He's going to walk away with his tail between his legs. Like, that's going to look really poor on his
It's going to be a punishment. You think it's going to... it might have Shane go over AJ as a punishment or something like that.
Might end... With how the WB is right now, it may end in a double fall.
Yeah. It might end with Roman winning. But that brings us to our segment.
What?
Our segment,
Superstar of the Week.
Superstar of the Week.
Oh, yeah!
Maggle for Raw. Who do you have for Raw?
For the one and only Austin Aries.
Woo!
We got a cruiserweight.
Yeah, first time. This is different.
We were talking about earlier about how Austin, if he was just a bigger guy, he would be main event caliber. He would be in the top spot. He has the charisma. He's a ring general. He dominates. And to see him with TJP, it was phenomenal. Not to hit AJ.
Oh, come on.
His own.
Yeah. But Austin Aries, the greatest man to ever live. I am thoroughly amped up about him.
Yeah.
I said in a previous podcast how much I admire Austin Aries. He's a great performer, great on the mic, great entertainer. But I'm going to have to give it to Samoa Joe, because he showed his dominance yet again this week by destroying Sami Zayn. Did you see his face he was making? The eyes rolled in the back of his head, just like he was pulling back on the neck of Sami Zayn, and just showed sheer dominance. Moving on to the blue brand of entertainment, Superstar of the Week for SmackDown. Who do you got?
I'm going to give it to the tag team, the Usos.
The Usos. Nice. I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
good choice. I'm going to give it to Baron Corbin.
Even though he suffered a loss.
He suffered a loss, but did you see how strong they made that guy look?
That's true. They did.
They made him equal to Randy Orton. Even though he lost, he was giving Orton a run for his money. Had Gene Ambrose not come out, Corbin would have won that match. And, that's with the image WWE wants to put into our heads. So that is a destined world heavyweight title contender, which is a little bit better.
No doubt from here. He looks strong as fuck in that match.
Which is a little bit better than the Intercontinental title, which he's trying to get now.
Yeah.
So this summer is going to be summer of Baron Corbin as Intercontinental title.
That's a bold move. That's a bold prediction.
And we are out of time here at the 10 Count Podcast. Join us next week for an all-new episode of the podcast. And please be sure to like and subscribe to Channel D Productions. And let us know if you can guess the wrestler's theme song at the end of each podcast.
Gonna be a tricky one.
Tricky. So let us know in the comment section. And we'll see you next week.
Kyle, hit that bell.